CAN TV, Channel 21, CAN TV. Brought to you by this is the Black Star Still Rising program, sponsored by the Black Star Project. Glad to have you here again. You'll be so excited that this is something that many of you have asked for, an encore from Patricia Kennan. Golly, how did I forget the last name that quickly? Patricia Andrews Kennan.
Absolutely.
Okay, I got it here. She's back for an encore performance. We're going to get into it in a few minutes, and she's going to tell us all about some interesting, exciting things that she put on this year just a few weeks ago. But in the meantime, I want to do my normal shout out to our illustrious executive director for CAN TV, and that's Darius Hillman. Mr. Hillman, thank you for giving this opportunity for organizations like the Black Star Project and the other community organizations that support and you are supporting over the years. I want to also give a shout out for our illustrious studio producers, and I want them to wave. I think we have both Rosio and I think we have both Imani in today producing this, making this as a good show. And of course, we have to do a shout out to our other producers, and that's Ellis Taylor and Dr. Mike Washington. But first of all, we've got to give the main shout out to our inspiration for the Black Star Still Rising, for the Black Star Project, and that's Philip Jackson, the founder of the Black Star Project, that has been succeeded by his illustrious sister, Gloria Smith. Out to you. Thank you, Philip, for getting this opportunity. As I said, we're going to have Patricia here. Patricia, tell us a little bit about this major event that is going to be a stalwart in Chicago for many years to come.
Oh, Stephen, thank you so much for having me again. I appreciate the encore visit. Yes. And so October 30th through November 2nd this year, we hosted the first Pigmented Black Fine Art Fair. We were at the Joe B. Art Center in the Bridgeport neighborhood, and we were elated by the turnout. Opening night, we had nearly 500 people that came through our door.
$4.99.
You were $4.99.
I got there in time.
And then over the course of the 3 days of the show, we had nearly 1,000 people come through. We had galleries from across the country, Detroit, Louisville, Colorado, of course, Chicago, Memphis, Tennessee. And we had some great early reports coming from the show. We know that one of our favorite master artists, Richard Mayhew, one of his works sold at the show for $45,000.
Repeat that number again.
$45,000.
At a thing that the Black Art thing put
at
on
a Black
here
Art
in Chicago?
Fair. Yes. One of our Black Art masters sold there.
Notoriety. I think you told me about one other.
Also, Watercolors Gallery. Okay. They're out of Memphis, Tennessee, and they had sales in the neighborhood of $70,000. So then we had a lot of individual artists that sold out of work at the show as well. So all in all, it was just a beautiful time.
I'm glad I left my checkbook home.
I know you should have brought.
Yeah, somebody might have enticed me to $70,000. Maybe the 45.
Maybe the 45.
Maybe the 45. I know that you have been excited about this and how this is going to be a major jumping off point for not just this past year, for years to come. Tell us how you're founder of the Pigment International.
Yes.
And CEO of the Pigment International. Give us, I know you told some of the previous audience, but we've got some new listeners and new viewers.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about your background. Please.
So Pigment International is a multimedia platform. Black woman founded and led multimedia platform. We produce a weekly newsletter with all the Black art news you can use.
I'm starting to get it.
You're getting it?
I'm
Okay,
getting
perfect.
Yes.
This weekend we're going to talk about what happens in Miami. You know, the first week of December is Art Week in Miami.
Okay.
So we're going to be reporting on all the things that people should do and see in Miami. But we do that newsletter 50 weeks a year. We have a printed magazine, the Pigment Magazine.
One of the most outstanding publications, such a beautiful piece of art that just will take your breath away when you see it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We
Yes.
appreciate that. And we've been publishing that for 5 years, and we're excited. My goal for 2026 is to have an issue that talks about our place in the 250th anniversary of this country.
And go back and tell us one other thing, how this got into the congressional records.
Oh, my goodness.
Why?
So another thing that Pigment did in 2019, we actually found that there was no Black Fine Art Month. And so we instituted that. How could that not happen?
Oh, boy.
So we started that in 2019. Congresswoman Robin Kelly actually entered it into the congressional record. In our celebration this year, our show was set to coincide with Black Fine Art Month.
Tell our viewers why that's important to have it entered into the congressional records.
Well, the thing we worry about most nowadays is having our history erased. And having something like that in the congressional record means that we can concretize this and have it move forward. Just like Black History Month, at one time it was a week. So our goal is to have it spread all across the country, and we've been fortunate. We've had people in Texas, we've had people in other cities in Illinois take up the mantle and celebrate that.
I'm feeling this good. This is going to be like the Art Basel. Is it Basel or Basel?
Basel.
Art Basel in Miami. This is going to supersede that in a few years. The way you building up, 500 people the first night,
10 the first
1,000
night
over the weekend.
Yes.
And then the number. How many artists did you have and galleries were represented?
So we had 11 galleries from across the country, and we had another 10 artists from across the country there. And the hope is that the reputation, people say this was a great place to come, because Chicago is the center of art commerce,
Right.
I think. And so when you look at our history, we were able, during our show, to celebrate the 85th anniversary of the Southside Community Arts Center. We celebrate the 85th anniversary of the American Negro Exhibition. So this city has been pivotal in Black art history, and part of our show is about recognizing that.
And that's got to happen, because if we don't tell our story, who will? And it takes somebody like you and the people that are associated with you to share your knowledge, your information that's got to be passed on to generations.
Yes, and I'm a very big believer in history. We have to know where we came from to know where we're going. So this art history is just so important in our city and who we are. And I think we can be that center of commerce for the middle part of the country. New York has a vibe as relates to art. The West Coast has a vibe, LA. But I think what we have to say here in Chicago is just important in the center of the country.
We're the center of the universe. They will make that the center of the universe. Tell people how they can contact you about because they might want to start preparing their artwork for next year.
For next year, absolutely.
Give them a phone number or email address and let our viewers know about that.
So everything we do comes under Pigment INTL for Pigment International, pigmentintl@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, Pigment INTL, and you can always send me a direct message and we'll get back with you, or email me at pigmentintl@gmail.com.
Repeat that one more time. I'm going to give you another chance to say it later on in this telecast, too.
Okay. pigmentintl@gmail.com. But please follow us on Instagram. I was so surprised. We gained so many followers on Instagram over the course of the show, profiling all the artists and the galleries that participated. So it was pretty exciting. It was very exciting.
For a good reason, that kind of excitement and interest. It's on Instagram, and you get more and more followers.
Right.
Now, tell me what a little bit. I hear Little Birdie told me about something that you're having at Navy Pier.
Oh, yes. So, everything continues to flow. So, last Wednesday was a ribbon cutting for the local Soul store, and that's in Navy Pier, right across from the Children's Museum. A lot of local artisans, craftsmen, jewelry makers, apparel makers. So we have merchandise from our show. If you weren't able to attend, you could go there and get a sweatshirt, a t-shirt, a hat, or some of our great enamel pins.
I think what's important, too, about this location, you're saying it's next to the Children's Museum at the Navy Pier. That means you don't have to walk all the way to the
as soon as you
end.
come in the
when
front
you walk
door.
in the front door.
When you walk in the front door.
They can drop you off right there, or you can take your Uber or whatever, walk right in be nice any time of the year, even though it's cold outside, the wind is whipping.
Right.
Come right into what kind of things and who are some of the artists that are represented there now?
Well, first off, the space has been curated by an artist that we've worked with for a number of years who worked on the show with us, Martha Wade. She's an amazing artist. Artists like Paul Branton are there, Dana Todd Pope. So there are quite a few artists that are there. It's a very creative space.
You're naming some heavy hitters in Chicago.
Yes,
I've
absolutely.
seen this art scene for a while, and you gathered them all into one space. For how many months will it be there?
We'll be there at least for the next 3 months. They do rotate, so they bring different artists in and out of that space. You can get our magazines there as well. But we were there with Kenya Merritt, who's the deputy mayor, the board, deputy mayor of Chicago. She was on hand for the ribbon cutting. The president and CEO of Navy Pier. So it's a beautiful event. They had food from Art Smith's restaurant. But we encourage you over the holiday season. It's always a destination for everyone. So we hope you'll go and we hope you'll shop.
And tell folks about this too. I'm going to get back to that a little bit more because I want to know about how one gets their artwork, a budding artist who wants to get their pieces shown or get develop an audience. We're going to talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
I'm going to can I take a brief minute to give a shout out to the Black Star Project and what they're doing along with the things that will be happening this weekend. Get your pencil and paper handy. This Saturday, November 29th, 2 days after Thanksgiving, we want you to come to the 10th annual Small Business Saturday. That's what it's called. The 10th annual Small Business Salary at 35th and ML King Drive this Saturday. It'll go from 8 to about 5 o'clock, and one of the culminating events, and that will be obviously because before at the end of the day, there will be a lighting of the Christmas tree, the Bronzeville Christmas tree, right at 35th and King Drive, better known as Philip Jackson Parkway. Philip Jackson Parkway, remember that. I've got a phone number for you. The number for more information, more detailed information, is 312-238-9447. Patricia, did I read this correctly? Tell me if I read this correctly. You can read it. 312-238-9447.
9447.
I said it right?
Looks like.
Tree lighting, probably when it just starts to get dark. And some of the people who asked about it's going to be Kenya Renee, Diana Marie, and King of Poetry Blue Ice. No, that's Black Ice.
Ooh, it should be.
I think it's Black Ice.
Let's see.
Okay. Right at the
Black Ice.
Okay.
Yes.
You took your pencil and paper and started to write that down. Now, Patricia, tell us a little bit more how one, a budding artist who doesn't know how to get his work out there. What do they do? Who do they come to? Are there any particular galleries that you can talk to, for example?
Oh, yes. I just came from an event a couple of weeks ago at Fortune House Gallery, which is in the 4400 block of Cottage Groves Avenue. I think we have wonderful. We have Connect Gallery on 53rd Street in Hyde Park.
Write some of this information down because you're going to want to go to the place that Patricia is talking about. That.
Yes, I think we have some wonderful. There's the Wood Shop, which has been in the city for 51 years.
75th and Vernon.
75th and Vernon. They have been around for 51 years. So
they've got some of my artwork in to be framed. So I know they're good. Yeah.
And what I encourage artists to do is form a community with the other artists. I'm very fortunate in the artists that we work with. They support each other. They give their the artists in their circle of influence. They try to give them things to do, places to go, people to meet. So I find the art community in the city to be very warm and welcoming, and always, bringing along new artists. One of the artists that we had in the show, Eric January, who's on the show with us
Eric, yes.
before we had the show, when he was a student, Paul Branton actually spoke to his class, and then Paul curated the show and the artists that Eric participated in.
So that was his inspiration.
That was his inspiration.
The veterans reaching down.
Reaching back and helping
bringing
those
the pool
students.
and showing them how it's done.
Absolutely. So I love the art community here. We started in 2018, and just about every artist we work with then is still working with us now. So it's a warm, it's a welcoming community, and I think, anytime you can plug yourself in there, I think it's a wonderful thing to do.
What made you have this idea to put on this big fair?
Wow.
What was your inspiration and why did you do it?
Well, I love the art, first off. I love the
You're
history.
A collector?
I'm a collector myself.
Okay.
I love the history of it. And when I learned about places like the Southside Community Art Center and its place in Black art history, not just in Chicago, but how it fit into world Black art history, it was just fascinating to me. So I looked at what skills did I have. I'm not an artist, but I can write about artists, and I don't think...
You are a journalist,
I'm
not
a
just
journalist.
a writer, and you do some marvelous things. Not all your talents on display on TV, but you're a talented woman.
Thank you so much, Stephen. But I wanted to take the skill set that I had, and I understand how to write about things. I understood interviewing. I understand about how to pull together publications. I'd worked on newspapers. I'd worked on annual reports. So I
some
just
of the
took
places
those
that
skills.
you that had your talents that they used.
Wow.
Was the Defender or
I did do some work with the Defender back in the day, but mostly my career was a corporate career.
Okay.
I worked at the cable company, all the different cable companies that came to be Comcast over the years. So we learned how to promote networks. We learned how to build brands. I learned how to do annual reports, write speeches. So when I left the cable television business after 20 plus years, I started doing media and PR on my own. But I was so fascinated by art, I said, how can I take all these skill sets that I've learned and apply it to the arts? And I think writing about artists, would Picasso be Picasso if people didn't write about him?
That's right.
No. So our artists
TV
need to
back
be
then.
written. That's right. So somebody had to write those shows. Would Da Vinci be Da Vinci? And oh gosh, wonderful story. One of the women that exhibited in our show in October, she actually studied the art form that Da Vinci employed in the 15th century and does art today. And she was featured in our show.
You got to tell our audience the importance of art in our culture and what that does. One of the things I pointed out at one of my last shows was when they come after, when the despots come, when the people who try to take over a country come, what do? They go after the artists.
They go after the art, the libraries.
The journalists, etc. Because the artwork tells a story. Tell some of the stories from your perspective that would not be told if you did not have artists who did not have either TV or access to other communications. How was that culture passed on through artwork?
Wow. Well, I will tell you this. This past weekend, I went to the Art Institute and I saw an exhibit by Elizabeth Catlett. And she was an activist. She was a revolutionary. She was a feminist. But she was determined to tell the story of Black women in this country. And here we are. Elizabeth Catlett has obviously passed on, but there's her work that's standing after it'll be almost 100 years. She was almost 100 years old when she passed, but her work still stands the test of time.
And she was one of the ones that inspired Dr. Burroughs for the DeSalvo Museum. They were buddies, weren't they?
In the exhibit, they show where Elizabeth Catlett came and stayed with Dr. Burroughs.
Yes.
When she came to Chicago, she met her first husband here, but that community supported them, and Dr. Burroughs supported them. So to be able to see Elizabeth Catlett's work from the 50s, from when she was a student at Howard University, that tells you how art can stand the test of time and tell truths that people want to hide. In our current situation in government, a lot of things are being removed or taken down, but that art will continue to live.
The viewers who came in a little bit later, I want to let you know we have here Patricia Kennan and Andrews here today, and it's the encore performance, encore appearance, talking about some of the things that are happening in the art world of Chicago that you should be aware of. Also, a phone number, for this week's event, that is a Black Star Project event, along with some of the other organizations in the Bronzeville area. And that's going to be this Saturday, the 29th, Saturday, the 29th of November, at 35th and ML King Drive, at the very famous Philip Jackson Parkway, right there in the corner. You can't miss it. And there's going to be a tree lighting ceremony that lights up all of Bronzeville. It really does. That'll probably be at dusk, but plan to be out. They're going to have food, refreshments. So many Black artists, entrepreneurs will be showing their wares, so plan to get out. Phone number for that, for more information, you might want to get a booth there, 312-238-9447. Do it again for me, please.
312-238-9447.
You got it right. So, we want to talk about your vision. I enjoy talking to somebody who has had a vision and has made the vision an actuality. Talk about that and what you're seeing for the future of this annual event. I know it's going to be an annual event.
Well, again, as I think about coming into 2026 when we're celebrating the 250th anniversary of this country, how have Black artists interpreted that? How will they interpret it? And I think that's one of the things that we want to focus on in 2026 as we look at our next magazine. But we're going to continue to be doing events. We have an event on December the 6th. It's going to be at the Roosevelt Collection, right off of Roosevelt Road.
You know what Roosevelt Road is? That's 12th Street to some people, Roosevelt Road.
1033, 23 South Delano from 5 to 10 p.m. on December 6th.
Down, folks. I'm watching.
So we're going to have art there, and you can talk to us a little bit more. You can get our magazines. You can talk to us a little bit about what we're planning. If you want to be involved in something we're doing next year, we welcome the help. We had some amazing volunteers that came and helped us this year, and we've had people come up to us saying what they can do next year, but that's one of the things that we'll be doing. But again, it's really about looking at this from a different perspective, from our perspective, and how the history is preserved, how the history moves forward. So that's what we're thinking about in the new year.
Without being too prejudicial, talk about some of the up-and-coming artists that you might be in your... Who started you collecting? Because you don't have to have $1 million to be a collector. What is this?
No, you don't.
3 pieces? 7 pieces?
When I started, I collected poster art. I collected sheet music that had Black people on it. I also collected... I have a collection of mammies. Salt shakers and cutting boards and all those things, because I figured those things should be, I'd rather have them in my hand.
Yes,
I know people look at them as derogatory, but they were part of our history, and I wanted to honor that. So you start where you are, if it's a poster, if it's a print. And the nice thing about our show, there was a lot of original art, but there were other price points. I tell you what excited me.
To be a collector, right?
No, you didn't. I bought a piece by Della Wells, who's an artist out of Milwaukee, who is very well known, very well collected. But she had smaller pieces to allow us to buy things that started around $200. So, there was something for everyone.
That's much money for some of you folks. You know where to go now.
Absolutely.
On Navy Pier too. You know where to come get that.
Right.
Do you want to talk about give them the information and to how to contact you or whatever?
Sure. So you can reach us on any medium at Pigment INTL.
Okay.
That's on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. You can email us at pigmentintl@gmail.com, and we'll always respond. But yeah, we believe this is a conversation. We want to educate people. We work with students, so our artists mentor students, and they had an exhibit during the show as well. We had some beautiful community panels. We had executives from the
Dorian
DeSable.
working on some of the murals?
Yes, okay. Dorian worked with the students that we had.
Dorian Sylvain.
Dorian Sylvain.
Yeah.
So we had some wonderful interactions, and we hope to continue that into the new year.
That sounds like it's going to be a very exciting period for. I know it's got to be an exciting period for somebody who's been experienced and is a history major in life.
Yes, I believe in the history.
You have to bring this to our people, and it's so an exciting period, and it's a period that we have to be engaged. We must be engaged. And art is going to keep our story told, and we have to find the opportunity to tell our story. And it's with art. It's through art.
Through art.
And what you had this first year is going to be something exciting to build upon. Any closing things that you just want to talk about?
Wow. Yes, well, again, I hope you'll join us on December 6th from 5 to 10 p.m. We'll be on at the Roosevelt Collection, and we'll have art. There'll be fashion. It's going to be an amazing time, and we'll be there from 5 to 10 p.m. on December the 6th. And we're partnering with I Am You Too. So we're very excited to partner with Shauna, who is actually at our show in October. So we're just happy to be here and happy to keep these conversations going and continue to show this wonderful art. Go see the Elizabeth Catlett exhibit at the Art Institute.
It's a monster.
If you haven't seen it, it's amazing.
Yes.
So,
thank you. I want to say thank you for coming here and joining us today. We're going to see you next week, Tuesday, 5:30 live. Black Star Still Rising. My sister.
thank you.
My AKA sister. Divine
My
sister.
alpha brother.
All right. Thank you.